it's Caryn. Welcome back to my channel where we talk about everything Maryland and DC. Today's gonna be great. We're gonna compare Potomac to Bethesda, two very affluent cities, but very different in culture and what you can get for your money. So let's just dive right in. So Potomac's population is about 46,000 and Bethesda's is about 63,000. And up until recently, in fact for about the past 20 years, the trend has been moving towards DC, so towards Bethesda. And just recently, in the last 6 to 8 months, people are moving back out towards Potomac. So it's really interesting to see how that affects home values. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna compare the starter house, which in Potomac and Bethesda is about $825,000 in Bethesda and Potomac, and I'll show you what you can get for your money. Then we'll go to the next level, kind of your forever home, which in Potomac and Bethesda will give you range about 1.2, 1.3 million. And then finally, I'm going to show you the most expensive house ever sold in Bethesda and Potomac. So let's get right to it. Let's look at this house in Potomac on Ambleside for $825,000. This house is a pretty typical colonial located in Potomac, and as you can see, it's got a 2-car garage. It's about 3,100 square feet finished, and that's including the basement, which is also finished. So you've got a finished basement, 2-car garage, pretty nice sized backyard. The house sits on half an acre, and it's pretty much ready to move in. It's located in Potomac Central, and the walkability is not great. You can walk to some parks and trails, but you're gonna have to drive to get to restaurants or your local grocery store. So now let's compare it to the Bethesda house. So this Bethesda house that I chose sold this year for $860,000. It also has 4 bedrooms and 2.5 bathrooms, but there's a lot of differences. First of all, this one was built in 1949, and you're gonna notice all the homes in Bethesda that are original are going to be a lot older than the homes in Potomac, because the closer in you get, the older the neighborhoods are. This house also, as far as square feet, including the finished part of the basement, has under 2,000 finished square feet. And the biggest difference, I think, is the lot size. Remember the Potomac house? Well, it had half an acre, which is about 22,000 square feet. And the Bethesda house just has slightly over 6,000 square feet for the lot. There's no garage, so you've got to park on the street. But what we love about this Bethesda house is that it's 5 minutes to the heart of Bethesda. You can walk to restaurants and shops, although it's a little far, probably about a 15-minute walk. And it's super close to get into DC. It's also ready to move in, super cute. I really like this house. And has, you know, a little backyard. They made really good use of the small lot that they have. So both of these homes have great assets. They both are ready to move in, and it just really depends on, you know, what's important to you. If you want that backyard and the garage for the similar price, you're going to want the Potomac home. But if you really want to be close to the action and close to the restaurants and bars and have a more urban feel, you're going to want that Bethesda house. So it's just interesting to see how they compare. So now let's go to a higher price point, the 1.2 to 1.3 million, which is usually the next house people will upgrade to. The next house we're going to compare from Potomac has 5 bedrooms, 4.5 bathrooms, total square feet, including basement, is a little over 5,200, sits on 2 acres, has a pool, has a tennis court, is on well and septic, and is ready to move in. So there's a lot to unwrap here. But let's just compare it, to start with, to the Bethesda house. This Bethesda house that was sold this year, sold for $1,265, was built in 1940, has 3 bedrooms, 3 full baths, 1 half bath, and the total finished square feet is about 2,900. It sits on a lot that's about 1/4 of an acre, a little bit less, and doesn't have a garage. But it's really close in to downtown Bethesda and to Washington, DC. So they're both great houses and just have different amenities depending on what you want from your home. The Potomac House is going to be quite a commute to the city. It's probably going to take you about 40-45 minutes to get into DC if you work there. But you're surrounded by greenery, and you have the land, and you have the quiet. Being on well and septic, so your water is private, you have your own well, and your sewage is septic. You don't connect to public sewer. Has its pros and cons, but we'll get into that in another video, or you can email me and call me and I'll give you the rundown. The Bethesda House is, like I said before, it's more urban living, and it's super cute. It's ready to move in, and if you want that feel of being close to the city and close to the amenities, you're gonna veer towards the Bethesda House. It's also a lot less maintenance. You have public water, public sewer, not much of a backyard here. And so it just really depends on what your lifestyle is and what you want out of your home. They both sold in the first week. The Potomac House went for list price, and the Bethesda House went way over list price. But the interesting thing that I'm seeing in the last 6 to 8 months is that Potomac House before would have sat on the market for quite a while, and most likely would not have sold for list price. So the trend of moving out and getting more land and more outdoor space, to me, shows for the full list price and the week sold. So for today's comparison, the houses that are from Potomac all go to Winston Churchill High School, and the houses from Bethesda all go to Walt Whitman High School, based on today's school assignment tool. And as you can see from niche.com, both Churchill and Whitman have an A+ ranking, and they both fall in the top tier of public high schools in Maryland. So next I want to show you the most expensive houses sold in Potomac and Bethesda. In Potomac, we got a 20 million one, and Bethesda, we got one that's a little over 15 million. But before we get to that, I do want to tell you, I do appreciate you watching these videos, and if you like them, please subscribe and ring that little bell, and I'll tell you when I have new videos coming out. Also, I have a video of pros and cons of Potomac, as well as pros and cons of Bethesda. So if you're thinking about one or the other, check them out and let me know what you think of them. Okay, so let's look at the Potomac House first. $20 million, here's what you get. So this gorgeous Potomac House was originally built in 1926 and then was renovated in 2010 and sold in 2011 for $20 million. It's got 10 bedrooms, 13 bathrooms, about 20,000 square feet, and sits on 13 acres. It's got a beautiful pool in the back and has Potomac River views. Ted Leonis, the owner of the Washington Capitals and Washington Wizards, bought it in 2011. But it's got a great history. If you look at who's lived there previously, you can include members of both Al Gore and Joe Kennedy's families, and even Franklin D. Roosevelt, who rented it as a summer house. Let's take a look at the Bethesda House. So this one just settled about a couple months ago, September of 2020. Sold for $15 million. It also has great river views, located in Bethesda, very close to the DC line. It's got 12,000 square feet, sits on almost 2 acres, has a private pool, and was built in 2013. So it's very recently done, and you can tell by all the finishes, it's beautifully renovated. So I'm really curious, what would you choose? Potomac or Bethesda? Do you prefer a more urban feel to be closer to the restaurants and bars and possibly walk to things? Or do you want more land and more space and the amenities of Potomac? Put your comments below. Let me know based on our 3 categories, the first house in the $850 range, or the second house in the $1.2 to $1.3. And finally, if I give you all the money in the world, which would you choose? Potomac or Bethesda? I hope you enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed making it. And if you have any questions about Potomac, Bethesda, any place in Maryland or DC, my team and I would love to help you. All my information is below. Call, email, text, or leave a comment below, and we will get back to you as soon as we can. And if you do enjoy these videos, please tell your friends and subscribe. I do appreciate it. Have a great day. Bye.